Okay, so first thing I will talk about is the matte stat windscreen. So as I had mentioned in the previous video, this is about $300, but it's totally worth it in my opinion. I would 100% recommend this. This windscreen alone changes the entire aerodynamics of the bike. So if you had issues with wind turbulence or buffeting, all of those is resolved by this particular windshield. I have tried windshields from other brands, but none of them worked as good as this one. And this windshield, not only it is um, like height adjustable, it also the mounting bracket on that also helps you change the angle of the windshield. So as you can see here, that's the bracket, and that's basically helps you both adjust the angle, the inclination, as well as the height. And if you see, compared to the stock windscreen, there is a gap underneath it, so that helps with a lot of cutting out the wind turbulence and make the overall flow really smooth. And because of the height adjustment, it's perfect for highway riding on the tall position, like, or the upright position, and then you can move it down for your trail riding without uh, like reducing the risk of breaking the windshield if anything was to happen, or if you were to drop your bike. So my recommendation on this windshield is like 100%. This is an expensive accessory to the bike, but it's totally worth it, and it would completely change the way the bike feels. So next up is the Barkbusters handguards. So the stock factory handguards are made of plastic. They have an innovative, like slightly better design, that they, in the event of a tip over, they do slide out from the ends of the bar. But if you drop your bike on anything like hard, like concrete or gravel or stones or rocks, they will break off. So $160, totally worth it. Next up is this is the double take mirrors. These are also from Amazon, $160. And again, I can't recommend enough of this mirror. I waited till my stock mirrors broke off and then I bought these. The good part is, like, you can buy different parts, like a parts. So whatever gets damaged, it's like a modular mechanism. So whatever part gets damaged, you can easily buy that and replace it. You don't have to buy the whole mirror. So the initial investment is what is expensive. Now you're looking at the grips. These are the Oxford heated grips. They were about less than $100, I think, and they're totally worth it, especially in cold areas. Make the heated gloves helps, but having heated grips also helps. So this is the intelligent heat controller. The difference between this and the cheaper Bike Master is this controller. This controller will turn off the grips when, if you like, if you turn your bike away, and it won't let your battery drain. I mean, if you install the grips through a relay and it's a switched power, then it's different. But if you don't want to do that and you directly connected it, this controller alone will take care of that. If you were to forget, turning off your grips and you walked away from the bike, you won't come back to a dead battery. Next up is this tank flange from GV. Don't buy this, because while this quick release bag works really good for other bikes, the clearance here between the handlebar and that flange is really less. So that kind of comes in the way. Like, if you have the bag, you won't be able to get like a full lock on the handle. So I can't really recommend having this bike. I'm just too lazy to didn't remove that flange, but eventually I would. Now next up is this the Atlas throttle lock. This is about 150 bucks. I have mixed feelings about it. So it works really great if you have the stock grips, but since I switched the stock grips to the heated grips, it was kind of a little bit of trial and error to find the right spacing or the right spacer to put on there. So you don't want this to be super tight, then your throttle feels sticky. You don't want it to be super loose, then it doesn't work. So basically, as long as you can figure out like what is the right spacer, this works fine. It's not like the replacement of a proper cruise control, but at least it gives you enough time to rest your hand a little bit on longer trips. Then these are the levers. These are from Amazon. I think $35. They come in pairs, but since mine is a DCT, I didn't needed the clutch side, so I have the one on the brake side. And I would say I would recommend them these for 35 bucks, even for just one lever. Um, it folds up if in the event of like a drop. It's fully adjustable, like how far you want the lever from the handlebar, and the length is also adjustable. If you didn't had this bark busters and you had the stock factory birds, the chances of you breaking that lever off or bending it is super easy. Now these are the Hate crash bars, $300 from Poland as mentioned in the previous video. I mostly like it, it's super protective, but it has some design issues. I would like, you can't take the fairings off without removing the crash bars, and then this the spacing like between the brake pedal and the bunker style is very less, so it's kind of tight. So it still works, it doesn't interfere, but it has less space than if the bark was not there. And the other issue is that you cannot put coolant the way it mounts without having to remove the crash bar, so you can't top off the coolant. So but it is very strong. I have had multiple tip overs with this, and it, other than small scuffs and stuff, it never got bent or anything like that. I have other branded bars which didn't take a beating. So this one is the GV racks. The only problem with this one is that, you know, in the event of a crash, like when you tip over your bike, this puts pressure on the fairing and makes it to crack. I super glued it and it's fine. Um, but I feel like the design could have been better. And these are expensive, like about $500 or even more. But it works wonders. Like if you have those hard panniers, it's quick, easy on and easy off. But I use it with a soft bag, and also this helps to protect the bike. And this exhaust. This one is the Honda top box. Super expensive, comes with the box. I wouldn't recommend it because the load capacity is very less, about 10 pounds. But the only convenience is that it locks with the ignition key, so you don't need a separate lock for that. Next up is, here you can see, is the chain guard. I wouldn't recommend the factory stock one, is fine. And this metal one from $16 from Amazon is not worth it. Then I have the center stand. I would totally recommend it because if you're riding off-road, you would end up getting flats, and without a center stand, it's just too difficult to remove the like tube from the rear tire and fix it, or even in the front tire. This is like $250 and worth it. Then I have the low seat. If you are like me, like 30-inch inseam and vertically challenged, that seat, while it is hard and will make your ass hurt a little bit for longer trips, but it gives a lot of confidence for off-road situations because you will be able to flat foot it. It's not a huge difference, but at least half an inch, you will get like half an inch using that. Now coming back here again, like looking at the Bugbusters, these are solid. I have the VPS one, I missed that. So there's two types, like the jet type and the VPS, the variable position system. I like that better because is basically, you can, for summer, you can make that a little bit shorter so that your hands get a little bit of wind. Now next up is the Tpms sensor. I bought it from AliExpress, $20, and I would say it's also a must-have if your bike doesn't come with the built-in TPMS. What it does is, you know, it shows the tire pressure as well as the tire temperature, so you know how much of a traction is there. And it came to be useful a few times when I had a flat and I didn't even know. I got an early warning through this, and I was able to pull over to a nice spot, you know, under the shade, and then patched up my tire and I was good to go. Without this, I don't know, I may have been in a tricky place where I was found that I had a flat. Now these are the AliExpress lights for $50. They're not super bright, and I actually like it that way because it doesn't blind the oncoming traffic. It's just enough to give you some light on the, like, the peripheral vision lighting. The stock headlights are like from these older models. They are just like those weird Japanese way where even though there's two lights, one is for high beam and the other one is for low beam. So if you are not on the high beam, you would think one of the bulbs are fused, but it's not. It's just how they made it. So having these extra aux lights helps to light up the periphery, especially if you are doing off-road at night, or even country roads for that. Next up is the those stickers on the fenders. They protect a lot from scratches and scuffs, so totally worth it. And I also have the fender riser kit for $20 from AliExpress also, and you know, the stock clearance is very less. So if you ever went into any place muddy, it will break off your fender. This helps. It doesn't give you a whole lot, but half an inch of lift for $20, and it doesn't interfere with any of the brake hoses or the ABS sensor. So in my opinion, that's a must-have too, like for off-road kind of rides. Um, then that's all pretty much, guys. Like I wanted to, I missed out that the Black Dog skid plate. That's also, it's super expensive. When I had it, I got it from it was already installed in the bike, and I can't tell you how many times it has saved my back. Like I've been through rocks, gravel, hard hits, and because of that stock, like the Black Dog cycle, that was one of the beefiest skid plates that you can buy. I totally recommend it.